Wonderful. Good afternoon, Father Joe. How are you? Keeping warm in Oshkosh and Omro, Wisconsin? It's
Yes,
awful
and
wintry
we're
up
here in
there.
Wisconsin. We're having our first significant snowfall. Here it is, the middle of January, and we have had a very mild winter, which
Wow.
is really good news and bad news. The good news is that the weather is so pleasant. The bad news is that we're experiencing global warming. So
Yep.
anyway, but welcome all of you. And we said I got my cup of Joe, my cup of coffee here. Uh, and I'm happy to welcome all of you to Casa Esther Catholic Worker House, which is a house of prayer, a house of miracles, and a house of hospitality plus more. So welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, we're all excited, all of us involved in the Casa Esther community to celebrate Father Joe's 90th birthday this week. He continues to amaze in all that he's involved in. He continues to inspire all of us that witness how he leads this organization, keeps us on focus with what our mission is at Casa Esther, walking in the moccasins of Dorothy and Peter, and serving our community the best and our world the best that we can. So thank you, Father Joe. Congratulations on your 90th birthday.
Yes, right. And the theme today is allow me, Bob, to give a little background.
Sure.
It's January, and in both Greek and Roman mythology, one of the gods is Janus, and Janus, and he's in the list of the Greek and Roman gods, and so he's known to have a face in front looking forward and a face in the back looking backwards.
Mm.
So that'd be a nice trick, wouldn't it? And then you could do that with mythology. Well, January gets its name from Janus, as we look forward and backward, as everybody does in January. So we're going to look backward today, if
All
we
right.
might, Bob. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, what your reflections on 2023? I'm sure you could talk for hours upon hours about it and do a few sermons on it. But if you could focus for us, Casa Esther this last year, 2023, the highlights of the things that are really have been significant events for Casa Esther and for you.
Yeah, thank you. So I have chosen three among the many things that have happened here. This is a house of miracles, as we say. And the first one is involves a tragic report, and that is that one of our board members who has had so much to do with the formation of the board and the establishment of Casa Esther, whose name was Pam DeLapp. And her position on our board was as our treasurer, and she was a master at that. She runs a insurance business, and she knows really so much. And she and her husband Paul loved motorcycling, and they would take rides out in the country. And in September 1st, they were taking one of those joy rides on Paul's motorcycle, and a young girl, 17-year-old girl who just got her driver's license, uh, jumped a stop sign, and so Paul and Pam, with their motorcycle, crashed into that car, and really it was instant death, basically for both of them, and horrible experience and death for all of us. Uh, and we are still experiencing the aftermath of Pam's absence. She has done so much to contribute to who we are as a board. We are a 501c3, not for profit, and so a lot of details that she masterminded. So she was a good teacher, and so we're picking up the pieces and trying to learn from what she. So that was certainly a high event, along with the double funeral in Oshkosh.
Bless their
Okay,
souls.
may I go to the second one?
Yeah, bless their souls. Please do.
Yeah, comment anytime, Bob. The second one was, I personally, I take as a sort of I have adopted a mantra from the Greenpeace people who are famous for uh, having invented the phrase, think globally, act locally. What a wise maxim. You know, when we look at some of the great problems globally, what can we do about it? Well, do something locally. So it's a very good guiding principle for everyone. And so globally, in this case, it's the presence of atomic weapons. And this year we were the recipients of seeing the Oppenheimer movie and all that discussion that surfaced from that. And it's really got to be, in my mind, the biggest threat and the problem in the world is nuclear weaponry. Our Pope has said that the very possession of them is immoral. Well, anyway, so that's the global issue, and we're all concerned. And locally, we, Catholic Worker, Casa Esther, were in a position to promote a visit by a little schooner. It's about, Bob, how long was it? 30
Oh my
feet?
goodness, it's only 30 feet long, probably
Yeah,
38
small,
feet long.
small
Yeah.
schooner. I call it a scooter. It's got sails plus the motor, and it's been going all over the world on the waterways. And it was sunk it was originated some 20 years ago. It was sunk and then resurfaced and made mobile once again, so that navigable rather. And so we were able to sponsor its visit here to Wisconsin off of Lake Michigan in the city of Sheboygan. So we were, Bob, were we the main and only sponsor, or were there a couple?
There were two main sponsors. One was the Wisconsin chapter of Physicians for Social Responsibility, which is a national organization, maybe international, and the Wisconsin chapter, and Casa Esther were the two primary co-sponsors of its landing in Sheboygan.
Yeah, and we made a big deal of it. We had sent representation. I gave a speech while we were there. We boarded the schooner and met the crew and made the news. And we sent a message out that Casa Esther is really taking a forefront in opposition to nuclear weaponry. So talk about thinking globally and acting locally.
Yeah.
The third one, Bob, is something that really has surfaced during this past year, and it centers around the issue of homelessness. Now, Casa Esther set up a special screening of the name of that was the
Oh my goodness, I forgot the name of the movie.
Invisible Class.
Invisible Class. There you go.
Invisible Class, which really focused on the problem of homelessness and evictions and huge problem. It's really globally but locally certainly. So we sponsored that screening and got a big crowd out. But more important than as a result of it, we receive I'm guessing 10 to 12 calls every week of people within our Oshkosh, greater Oshkosh area, asking for help for rental assistance to avoid being evicted. And so we respond to every one of them. And what we do is we set up an interview, an intake, we call it. And Sarah Kosmicki, our executive director, and myself, we sit in and listen to the people's story. And very often there are tears from the men and the women as they tell their story. We listen and take notes for about a half an hour, and then we offer help. Now, we can't dish out $1,000 to each one, but we are able to give something enough to ride them through their crisis. Has become a very dominant ministry on our part here at Casa Esther. And so helping the homeless. And, again, it's following Dorothy Day, who was a champion of enacting the Sermon on the Mount, the Corporal Works of Mercy. I was homeless. So what's the phrase now? I needed help, and it's one of the corporal works of mercy, and so we helped them in the spirit of Dorothy Day. Everyone, hospitality really would be the catchword. We offer hospitality to people who are really in tough straits. So that's been a big third issue that has dominated our work here at Casa Esther.
And really, from what you've told me, it's very clear locally as well as just a reflection of globally, nationally and globally, is increasing. That number of inquiries that we've gotten and working with other agencies and other organizations, which Casa Esther does, that has increased 2 or 3-fold since probably the beginning of 2023. And
Bob, do we have time to add one quickie?
sure.
Yeah, part of that is welcoming the immigrants, which is a huge problem now in the United States.
Mhm.
And we have 3, count them, 3 families from Venezuela. Venezuela is stricken with extreme poverty and living conditions, thanks to the sanctions that the United States has placed upon Venezuela and
Yep.
as well as Cuba. And so 7 million people from Venezuela have left.
Mm.
And we 3 of those families miraculously arrived here in Appleton, our next door neighbor. And that's when we were called and we came to the rescue. Now, 12 people or 14 people walked through the jungle, swam across the Rio Grande, made their way up here miraculously. And now we welcome them, and we have found housing for all 3 of them, three different places, and we're helping them in many, many ways to learn the language and to be established. And I might add and finish with this, that, oh, what a wonderful thing you have done, Father Joe and Casa Esther. No, they have done us a favor by being here and enriching our community. So look at it that way. That's how we see it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the world is, and truly, we're all brothers and sisters. And for us to recognize, look at it through the eyes of kindness and compassion, and how we can assist, however that is, locally and globally, is part of the mission. And it's beautiful to hear the stories of your getting together with them and their families and their appreciation. And Casa Esther always committed to not just being a handout, but being helpful in helping people to raise themselves.
So Dorothy Day's
we don't
Corporal
be-
Works of Mercy
Yep.
is, I was a stranger and you welcomed me.
I was a stranger and you welcomed me. So what a blessing, what an amazing 2023 Casa Esther has had. The community, the Winnebago County land community, and the part that we're playing in it. And bless you, Father Joe. We'll come back and have another cuppa here in a couple of weeks and turn the face around for Janice and see the other side, looking forward into 2024. You can do your predictions, and we'll do that again on our next session, okay?
That's a very good idea, Bob, and thank you very much for hosting this.
You bet.
Okay.
You bet.
And blessings to all.
May peace prevail on earth.
Amen.